Good morning, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Friday. Huzzah! TGIF. It is July the 24th, and we're here to look at the rest of the cozy mysteries that were published this week. There's just a handful left, but we will look at them. Please stay cool. It is hot. Lena says, "Good morning, PK." Good morning, Elena. How you doing? She says, "I am good. And 65 more days till my birthday." No, I think it was at the end of this month, wasn't it? And Mary says, "Good morning, PK and everyone." Good morning. Happy Friday. Another beautiful day here in Virginia. No humidity and right now in the 50s. Yes, you read that right. Up to 83 today. Yesterday was the same. Gorgeous. Well, we are going to be 103 today. Mary says, "Good morning" to Elena. And Elena says, "Hello, Mary." So we're going to try and do what we can for the guys. Try to get them done as soon as possible. Elena says, "No, I mean 5 days. Sorry, my apologies. I knew it was coming up much more quickly than that." And it's this Thursday on July 30th. Okay, awesome. You gonna do anything special? I bet you are. All right. We were on this bright blue one. I remember that. Fire and Ice Cruise. 15th in the Cruising Through Midlife Cruise Ship Mysteries by Addison Moore. Let's see. "My name is Trixie Troublefield Baxter, and I live on a cruise ship. Most days I teach art classes, write my travel blog, and occasionally solve a murder with my handsome husband, Ransom, who just happens to be head of security. You know, normal cruise stuff. But my 50th birthday celebration just veered straight into homicide territory. The Emerald Queen of the Seas is sailing for Iceland with the Second Act Society aboard, an exclusive midlife reinvention program for high-profile guests with secrets darker than an Icelandic winter. And when documentary producer Gideon Vale is found strangled with his own scarf on an embarkation day, every reinvented guest becomes a suspect." I don't know what reinvented means there. "Between champagne fountains, northern light viewings, and communal shower trauma at the Blue Lagoon, don't ask, I've acquired an unexpected partner, a flirtatious ghost who knows exactly who the killer is but refuses to tell me. Instead, she's treating this investigation like a game show where the grand prize is justice and the consolation prize is death. Really, just solve the crime. As we sail past volcanic cliffs and black sand beaches, I'm racing to unmask the killer before they strike again. Ransom is more determined than ever and just so happens to be working the case alongside me." Well, I would think so. "My chaos agent friends, Bess and Nettie, are fanning the flames, and a mysterious widow may be running from something far more dangerous than scandal. Turns out when your 50th birthday comes with a corpse champagne and a chatty ghost, midlife crisis takes on a whole new meaning." Well, seemed a little busy already, and then apparently she added a ghost. "Ah, Emily, hello. We are going to have a high in the mid-70s, but you are sending us your heat next week, PK. I know, it's moving that way." And Elaine says, "You're having dinner for your birthday? Nice." Mary says, "Hi, Emily." Amy says, "Good morning, PK, Mary, Elena, and everyone else." Good morning, Amy. And Elena says, "Hey, Amy." Emily says, "Hi, Mary and everyone. I'm actually awake and don't have to get ready for anything so I can watch." Lovely. We love to see you. Amy says, "I have PK on TV." Uh-oh. Well, at least you know it's book news, and that's a good way to start the day. Mary says, "We'll probably miss you all next week. I'm going to see a friend in Michigan and leave on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing her." Oh, I bet that's going to be nice. I'm assuming you're flying. And Mary says, "Hi, Amy." "Murder on the Cliff Path" by Elowen Rose. Why did I want to say Louise? Second in the fourth Yarrow Mysteries. 3 weeks after murder first came to Gull House, Clementine Cavern is trying to keep her late aunt's Cornish tea room open for summer. There are cream teas to serve, picnic boxes to label, a mischievous dog to manage, and a village still far too interested in what Clem intends to do next. The Coast Watch Cliff Path History Walk should be good for visitors, village morale, and the Gull House's takings. Then its guide, local historian Dr. Martin Carbis, announces that Aunt Violet was right about an old death. Tom Curnow did not simply fall near the east steps. Someone called him there before the tide turned. By evening, fog rolls in from the cove. Martin disappears from the path and his body is found below the cliffs. At first, it looks like a tragic accident, but Martin's red satchel is missing, his torch lies in the wrong place, and the path itself seems to be telling a different story. To uncover the truth, Clem must follow the clues through tide tables, Coast Watch logs, old photographs, retreat brochures, village grudges, and the dangerous question of who gets to control Port Yarrow's past. Because in this village, the dead do not always stay buried. That sounds creepy. Or like their secrets don't stay buried. Maybe. Mary says, no driving. Really? I'll take my time. Can't drop the girls off at the kennel until 10 a.m. on Sunday, so won't make it all the way to Michigan that day. About 11-hour trip, so hotel dreams. Ooh. Do you have a planned state to stop in? There's a British couple that is touring America after seeing the World Cup, and he's made his way to Montana. They were in Wyoming whatever day they went to, and then they went to Livingston, Montana. You can see a clip of them. I can't remember their names. Livingston is about an hour away. Much, much, much smaller town, but very, very picturesque. And they went to Yellowstone. Murder in the Reflection by Tessa Ora. 11th in a Maggie Wright cozy mystery series. Some mysteries are found in the water, others in the mirror. The truth was there all along, hiding in the reflection. When a woman is discovered dead beneath the willow trees at Ashford Crossing's scenic pond trail, private investigator Maggie Wright expects secrets. She just doesn't expect half the town to have them. Elaine Marsh quietly helped troubled locals carry burdens too heavy to face alone, meeting them on a park bench far from curious eyes. A grieving widower, a struggling addict, a respected professional barely holding things together. Every one of them had something to hide. With her local loyal canine partner, Biscuit, and PI partner, Harper Rhodes, at her side, Maggie follows a trail of private meetings, cryptic notes, and uneasy lies. But the deeper she digs, the more the case reflects something she didn't expect. And finally, putting old ghosts to rest, Maggie is beginning to realize solving the past and building a future aren't the same thing. But someone in town is watching, waiting, and willing to kill again to keep the truth buried. Being a private eye, that probably should have been on the Wednesday one. But oh well. It had the look of cozy. Donuts and Dysfunction by Sierra Cross. Speaking of donuts, I need to pick up Krispy Kreme today because we've got a truck to unload. A beige witch influencer turns up dead in Hazel's donut cart. It's giving frame job. Hazel spent her whole life smoothing things over, keeping the peace, putting everyone else first. This summer, she's finally choosing herself, a thriving donut cart, real confidence in her magic, and Elliot, the crow shifter cop, who's never once needed her to shrink to fit his life. Then a murder sends Blue Moon Bay into a frenzy, and mounting evidence points to Hazel's sister Bee. The family's golden child, dutiful and Pinterest perfect, Bee's clashed with Hazel their whole lives. Still, Hazel doesn't believe for a second that Bee's a killer, but clearing her name means digging into the one thing Hazel's always avoided, her family's dysfunction. Bee isn't the only one keeping secrets about that night. Mother's frenemy, the new witch in town, is hiding something of her own. And with Britt's and Max's love lives falling apart around her, Hazel starts to wonder if happy endings are even real, especially as a shifter family picnic of all things turns into the real first fight of her and Elliot's relationship. With murder magic and old family wounds rising to the surface, Hazel will need her power, her people, and the courage to stop people-pleasing her way through danger. Can Hazel clear her sister's name before Blue Moon Bay's magic and the secrets boil over? Murder Under the Moon by Eloise Everhart. Third in Miller's Magical Mystery. I like the cover, kind of. I like the green color of it. Megan Miller is beginning to understand that life at Point Pleasant's supernatural liaison is anything but predictable. When Travis Burrow, leader of the local werewolf pack, comes to her for help, Megan knows this isn't just another case. A member of his pack has been accused of murder, and the Wardens of the West aren't taking chances. They've started rounding up every werewolf in town. With their freedom on the line, Megan doesn't have the luxury of easing into the investigation. The victim was newly married into the pack and recently hired to design a controversial housing development already dividing the community. As Megan digs deeper, she finds herself caught between small-town politics and shifter traditions that don't welcome outside interference. Everyone has something to protect. Everyone has a reason to lie. With tensions rising and the clock ticking, Megan must uncover the truth before suspicion turns into something far more permanent. Justice in Point Pleasant isn't always simple, and sometimes getting it wrong costs more than one life. And then there's Burbage. End of that road. 2 more to go. You gotta pick it up. Mary says Ohio. Okay. Amy says, I hope you get to see beautiful sights, Mary. And good weather. Mary says, thanks, Amy. Hope the light is on at KK. Haven't had one of those in a long time. Not one in town, but oh so tasty, especially just out of the fryer, you guys. Oh, Krispy Kreme. Just out of the fryer, you guys will appreciate them, I'm sure. Well, as long as I get fed. And yes, I drive by as soon as I leave here. I get them. Amy says, oh yes, fresh Krispy Kreme donuts. So that is the first stop on the way to work. A Lark's Gambit by Lynn Messina, 6th in the Verity Lark Mysteries. Oh dear, is that the Marquess of Ware enjoying a pipe in the very same upscaled opium den as Verity Lark? It is, yes. Wonderful. Now she must inform her suitor, Coulson Hardwick, of his father's unsavory habit, which means she will have to reveal that she herself had been partaking in the very next birth. He will understand. When she explains that the den is above the fish seller whose poppy trade she has been monitoring for months, he will totally get it. As London's most intrepid reporter and dogged gossip-monger, she is duty-bound to get to the bottom of the mystery. What Hardwick might find a little harder to accept is why she was kissing the Marquis in a darkened room during a fashionable society affair. That is slightly more a complicated story. Alas, with a killer stalking her, she might not have the chance to tell it. She was kissing her boyfriend's father? Did I understand that? Ew. A Sleuth's Guide to Murder and Fine Arts. First in the Sleuths of a Certain Age series by Rose Pascoe. To art teacher Hazel Bond, it seems as if fate has painted a target on her back. Widowed and jobless, she retreats to the picture-perfect alpine community of her childhood to paint, ski, and seek serenity. But serenity is off the menu when a rumored sale of art and heritage treasures sparks angry protests. Then a wealthy art collector dies in an apparent accident at a nearby ski field, with Hazel as the only witness, or as the police view it, the only suspect. Her hopes of extricating herself aren't helped when she is drawn deeper into the mystery by 2 men with their own agendas. Benedict Finlayson is an uptight fish out of water who claims to be an international art expert. Gary Taylor is so laid back that he never left the 70s. Neither man is quite what he seems to be. Luckily, Hazel's eccentric godmother is right behind her, even if that means giving her a helpful shove in the back. Fueled by wine, cheese, and pig-headed determination, these sleuths of a certain age are not about to let wealth and power get in the way of justice. Looks like it's set in New Zealand. It kind of says something about that at the bottom. So if you're doing round the world kind of challenges, put that one down for New Zealand. Born for Magic by Sarah Nofke, 10th in the Ella Bloom Mysteries. In Gloamington, magic has always had rules. 2 years after Ella Bloom arrived, it's forgotten every single one. On the spring equinox, magic begins bleeding through the ground, wild, uncontrolled, and growing stronger by the hour. No one knows where it's coming from. No one knows how to stop it. And in the chaos, the headmistress of the Hedge Witch Academy turns up dead. The Hedge Witch Council is fracturing. The covens are turning on each other, and with magic tearing holes in the earth beneath their feet, Ella Bloom and Malcolm Fox are left to untangle a murder that may be bigger than either of them imagined. The Hedge Witch Academy was never without enemies. Not everyone believed mortals had any business learning magic, and the headmistress had more than her share of them. But is the surge of wild magic a symptom of the same darkness that killed her? Or is something far worse rising beneath Gloamington's surface? The Secret Menu by Poppy Bridgman, 6th in the E.B. Eats Diner Mysteries. When genealogist Finola Grayson promises to reveal fascinating discoveries about Nueva Vida's founding families at the town's Heritage Festival, she has no idea someone is willing to keep those secrets buried. Found dead among antique weapons at the local museum, Finola had uncovered explosive truths that threatened to destroy the carefully crafted legacies of the town's most respected families. Her research revealed that Nueva Vida's heroic founding myths were built on lies, fraud, and covered-up crimes. Now diner owner Eliza Burton must navigate a web of family pride, generational secrets, and deadly obsession. Multiple suspects had everything to lose if Finola's discoveries became public, but which one was desperate enough to commit murder? The killer chose the wrong town to hide their family's dark past. Eliza Burton has a talent for uncovering the truth and serving justice. In Nueva Vida, some family secrets are worth killing for. You know, this is teaching us, end of that row, that if you find a secret about a town, yeah, keep it to yourself. Or you don't announce that you're going to reveal a secret. Emily says Krispy Kreme is delicious when the light is on. Yeah. Keo does not like drive-up windows, so he gives them a hard time. But he loves donuts. A Weekend Getaway Murder by Tam May, 3rd in the Grave Sisters Mysteries. No one is more surprised than District Attorney Daniel Fraser when Walt, his old college roommate, shows up in a cabin along the river with a group of friends for a New Year's Eve getaway. Oh, don't, never do that. But all horn blowing and champagne drinking cease when Walt's murdered body is found lying in the woods. We could have told you. This is Daniel's first murder case since being appointed DA, and he turns to District Attorney Oliver Clark in neighboring Guyver County for help. Is this the same book? Because this does not look like the cover. Oliver is wrapped up in his own case, so he suggests Daniel seek the aid of the Grave Sisters, but the sisters' expertise lies in their familiarity with Guyver, California, and its inhabitants. In Moody, Nevada, they are in the dark. Can the Grave Sisters help Daniel sort out the likely suspects among friends and enemies to solve this twisted tale of lies and deceit? Will a fancy cigarette holder, a plain cigarette case, and a figure running like lightning through the forest give them insights into who killed Daniel's friend? I don't know. The cover doesn't exactly jive with what was being described there. Ooh, we gotta hurry. A Bookstore of Hidden Threats. 2nd in the Granny Bright's Bookstore Murder Mystery Series by Gilly Graham. Gina Bright thought she'd finally found her happily ever after running her cozy bookstore in the charming town of Ogilvy. Then a beloved elderly friend is the victim of a brutal hit and run. When Gina uncovers evidence that he was trying to expose a dangerous fraud targeting the town's most vulnerable residents, she realizes someone will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. With a loyal corgi, Mary, a close circle of friends, and a growing list of victims, Gina must solve the mystery before another innocent life is silenced. Oh yeah, you can kind of see the cover. There's a corgi there. Oh, they're happy. 3 more. The bell's gonna ring. How to Kill a Crime Writer. After the tragic death of bestselling crime writer Annie Morrissey, her daughter... We did that one. Thank God. I remember that name, Neve. We did that one on Wednesday. Savvy Summers and the Po' Boy Perils by Sandra Jackson Opoku. Hope I did that one right. Second in the Savvy Summers Mysteries. Savvy has her work cut out when an old friend hires her to cater a company luncheon at a nearby office building on Chicago's South Side. Stepping out of her traditional soul food comfort zone, Savvy whips together a menu of Creole classics with her own spin, of course. Mini po' boys with assorted fillings, sunburst salad, and bread pudding using Great Aunt Essie's famous buttermilk biscuits. But when someone is found dead in the company's conference room, Savvy's culinary creations are suddenly in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. While the focus should be on their delicious flavors and inventive techniques, Savvy's beloved cafe instead becomes the center of a murder investigation once again. Caught within a messy web of gossip, miscommunication, and fraught coworker relationships, Savvy will have to settle the confusion to clear her name. Somebody's hiding something, and with the help of her trusty assistant manager, Penny Lopez, Savvy sets out to uncover exactly who is to blame. With familiar faces turning up the heat on her investigation and her cafe still in hot water, will Savvy be able to save her reputation before it's too late? Last one. The Masala Chai Mystery Club by M.J. Soni. Retired librarian Nidhi Shah was hoping for a restful life with her chai-loving friends, but when the body of a neighbor or childhood friend of Nidhi's turns up dead and the killer's MO is similar to that of Nidhi's most recent book club read, things start to get out of control. When Nidhi hears a commotion at a neighbor's house, she finds Rohit's body sprawled across the bottom of the staircase with Agatha Christie's dumb witness nearby. Blackmailing his neighbors, threatening them with lawsuits, and calling them nasty nicknames were only some of the hateful things that made him so disliked. But were they angry enough to kill? Apparently. Nidhi is indebted to her old friend, and she's determined to find his killer, but she can't do it alone, so she enlists her mystery-loving friends, the Masala Chai Mystery Club, to get to the bottom of the murder. But Nidhi and her club members need to be careful. As more bodies turn up and more suspects start to appear, they'll need to find the killer before they end up in hot water. That is it. Not a bad bunch. I can't remember some of the other ones. I'm not really intrigued by the ones that we read. I did get that interesting one of the husband and wife crime writers. So I'll have that to start soon. Kimmy says, look at the dogs. Yeah, those smiley faces. Mary says, thanks so much. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Stays cool. Enjoy some fun. We'll join if able next week, but have a great one nonetheless. You travel safely, girlfriend. You be safe. If you can check in, we'd appreciate it. But you don't have to, but we'd appreciate it. Because I want to know you're doing okay. Emily says, everyone have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. and then goes for 5 hours. Amy says, have a good day, everyone. We'll back at you, baby. All right. That is it. Next week, we'll look at a whole new batch. Be safe, be cool, stay hydrated, read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless. Thank you guys.